town with a population of less than 3,000, we sure found plenty of fun things to do in Plympton, although we didn't find a place to eat breakfast. Our day in Plympton started at the town complex, which included the library, fire station, town hall, and police station. We had planned to meet John Trainer and Martha Burns from the Historical Society there. Little did we know that town officials would be there to greet us, including Elizabeth Dennehy, town administrator, Fire Chief Cheryl Duddy, Fire Captain John Sawstead, and Library Director Mike Slauson. We were especially honored to meet Plympton's fire dog, Wilden Duddy.
And what's needed. How are you? We do a lot of fun stuff too, like on Sunday he and I and our other therapy dog are doing the Beat the Challenge in Boston with the Boston Brewing Foundation. So
cool.
Yeah, so we do fun stuff.
Yeah, that's really neat. Well, that's nice to have that. Yes.
He's so pretty.
We're here at the Plympton Library with John and Martha. And John, you're the president of the Historic Society, and do you have any other titles?
I'm chair of the Board of Selectmen for Plympton, and I co-chair with Martha the Genealogy Club.
Oh, and I know you have many roles here too, Martha.
Yes, I am the curator archivist at the Plympton Historical Society, as well as John said, we co-chair the Genealogy Club the fourth Saturday of the month.
Also an artist,
And an artist also,
Okay.
Professional artist and professional genealogist.
Wonderful. So tell us about Plympton and when did it become incorporated? Tell us the history.
So Plympton was originally called the Western Precinct of Plymouth. And then about 1695, it was incorporated into the precinct. And in 1707, town of Plympton was born, if you will. And it was much bigger. We're about 15 square miles, a little more. Originally, it was 45 square miles.
Oh, wow. That's a big difference.
But Carver was cut off from it. Halifax took a piece, and Kingston took a little piece. So we're 15 and been that way for a while now. The cemetery across the street is Hillcrest. That was started in 1707, one of the oldest cemeteries in the country. We have the Congregational Church behind us, which was started in 1850, and there's a cemetery behind that.
Was there a meeting house before 1850?
There was. There were three, right, Martha?
I believe so.
Yeah, and they were on the green here. We have a green that was started in 1850. I'm sorry, no, 1702. 2 acres, and the meeting houses were literally for the church and the government.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1850, they built the first townhouse that was for government alone.
Okay.
And we'll show you that after. That's the old townhouse. And that was put down the road here, about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and it was picked the spot because it was central to the town at that time. However, a bunch of people didn't like that. So they went up and built another one up here called Union Hall. And when you see the two of them, you'll see that they're almost identical of each other.
And they had both functioning at the same
So
time?
Union Hall became the Grange Hall.
Oh, the Grange Hall, okay.
And it was also used for dances and, but it was kind of interesting that people couldn't agree on one.
Yes, and it had the second one up here had a nickname, Spite Hall.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
So, some of the things in town, probably this town, if you looked at it, is probably most known beside Deborah Sansom, and I'll talk about that, but for its concentration of antique houses. When we take you around, I think you'll see there are so many antique houses in this town. And we also have, you're going to meet Jen and Mike later at the Mercantile. They have rehabilitated 8 houses in town.
Wow.
And some of those houses I would have sworn were gonna be torn down. They were that bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's been a great plus for us. We've been able to save houses. I hope they'll take you down to one. It's the, I call it the Murdoch House. So everybody, I call all the houses by I've been here 55 years. So it was the Murdoch House when I came. I think it's the Black Walnut House now.
Yes, they call it the Black Walnut
Yeah.
House.
Okay.
It has one of the oldest black walnut trees in the state.
Oh,
So,
is it still there?
yeah,
Yes.
it's still there.
Yes.
And
Wow.
the state sends
There in
out,
Pilgrim times. It's well documented.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
the state sends out foresters to look at it every year to make sure we try to keep it healthy.
Good. Good.
Kind of neat.
That's cool.
Turns out the cemetery probably has more descendants of the Mayflower
Mm-hmm.
than Burial Hill.
Huh. Interesting.
So not the Mayflower passengers, but their descendants.
Yes.
There's Aldens and Standishes and Fullers, and they're all over there. And town's very small.
Yeah.
We have about just shy of 3,000 people, so call it 3,000 people. And everybody knows what's going on in town.
Everybody knows
else's
everybody
business.
else, yeah.
So, how many horses do you have?
You know, it's noted as, at one time they said there were more horses than people.
That's why I asked
Yeah.
that. Why did the people come originally here? What was why did they
Land.
land? Were they
Yeah.
farmers?
Yes, just about everybody was a farmer, and as Plymouth grew out, there was lots of land here. Parts of it are very fertile. We have some places where it was just flat bottom for hay. Hay was a big thing.
And
Trees.
when did cranberries become popular?
I'd have to go back and look, but it was late 1800s.
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. One of the things that Plympton is famous for is Deborah Sampson. She was actually the great-granddaughter of William Bradford. Okay, came over on the Mayflower. So there's a Mayflower history there. And originally the Bradfords had money, but over the course of the years, when she was born, the family was very poor. And though she was raised here, at some point the family felt they had to indenture her and have her go off to another family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So she went to Middleborough and worked for a family there. And about this time, the Revolution War was starting to heat up, and she wanted to be part of it. And she decided that she would enlist in the army as a soldier, but hide her identity. And so she tried to enlist from Middleborough and was caught and sent back. She waited a while, 6 months, something like that, and then she went to another town and called herself Robert Sherlift and went into the service. And she spent 3 years as a soldier, was not found out until she was wounded. I think she actually came down with a disease. She had been wounded, but she wouldn't go to the hospital.
Of course not.
But she went to get this disease and went into the hospital, and that's when they found out she was a woman. And they promptly said, you can't be in the service anymore. She's now the state heroine, is that what they
I
call it?
believe so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
And there's a postage stamp,
yes, that we hope is coming. We haven't seen it yet.
yeah.
Oh.
And she's on the town badge like the police department.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
We have
That's
a Deborah Sampson flag that we have at the townhouse. So it's kind of a, it's
That's
kind
a
of
big, it is.
Yeah. She, after the war, she moved to Sharon. And if you go to Sharon, if you haven't been there,
Mm-hmm.
her grave is there. She married a fella, and Garnett was his name. So she became Mrs. Garnett, had children, raised them there, and died there and is buried there. So Sharon claims it, but we say, well, yeah, but she started here.
Mike Slauson is the librarian here in town, so could you tell us about this library?
Sure. So I've been here for just about 4 years now. It's a really special place, this library, for lots of reasons. One of the reasons I love it is because we have this side of the building that we're in right now, which is the old side of the building, as you can see with the beautiful columns behind us. And then we have the new side of the building over there. And there's a real contrast here, I think, especially since I've started and we started updating things with the old and the new. I think it's representative of libraries, because I think libraries they're always changing. We're always trying to move into the future and to keep things updated. But we also have a great respect for the past. So this is a special place. I know a lot of people in the town really care about this building, and they care about the library. So it's an honor to be the librarian in town.
I hear you do special things like pick books out, maybe even deliver some?
I do, yeah. We do all sorts of things here. We deliver books to our residents.
That's unusual.
It is, but I think in a small town like Plympton, where or a lot of the people that come in that door, I know by first name basis. They know me by first name basis, and the whole staff here. And being a small library, it's a little bit easier for us to provide those type of services than it would be for a bigger library. But we do things like deliver books and pick up books, and we try to help out people in the community as much as we can. And it's another reason why I enjoy this job, is because I get to help people in the community.
Some of the things Mike has brought to the library is we catalog of seeds, the library of things.
Yeah, so we like I was saying a minute ago, we try to move the library into the future, and we try to upkeep things like technology updated. We have a 3D printer that the residents of town love using. We have a Cricut machine, which is a crafting machine that a lot of people like to use. We have virtual reality that kids and adults sometimes come in and use. So we'll be using that later, right? I think as much as I love the historic part of this building, it's a special place. I think my favorite part of the building, we'll have to go check it out, is the children's room. We just redid the children's room about a year ago, and I'm very proud of it. The staff here really worked hard to make it what it is, and I'm proud of it, and I'd love to show it off to you guys. We have a library of things with all sorts of things that aren't books in there.
Yeah, well, that's what.
From toys to technology to games and things like that. So I always tell people libraries have been around for thousands of years because they change with the times. And so
they certainly are.
They're not going anywhere.
No, they're not. And I think it's great.
All we need is a wood splitter and
there you go. Well, I know somebody that has one of the metal detectors that they loan out.
Yep.
I don't know whether you do that.
Do.
I think that's great. I think, wow.
It really is neat, because it brings in a crowd maybe that we wouldn't get.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then they can pick a book up.
Exactly. We're part of the Sales Library Network, and there's a number of library networks in Massachusetts that share books, so we're part of the Sales Network.
Back in the 70s, Marilyn Brown and her husband bought the home that was the birthplace of Deborah Sampson. They have restored and modernized it beautifully.
The house was totally empty, had been empty for a year. Nobody wanted it. Oh, really? Yeah, nobody wanted the house, and the house had 34 acres.
34 acres and
nobody wanted
Huh?
it. No, and the price was very low.
Oh, that's it's getting better and better.
It was $62,500.
Wow.
So,
Wow, that is amazing.
yeah, so,
Wow. And what shape was it in? Did you have to do a lot of work?
yes, there were a lot of basics like electricity and,
Yeah, things
and
like
heating.
that.
There was one of the bedrooms upstairs we found out after we moved in had no heat. We did put an addition on.
You did. Look at this house. Lovely, lovely. Wow.
So you can't be too tall.
No.
My husband was 6'2", and he
Oh
said,
my goodness.
well, he said you have to be humble in the house. You had to bow to go through the door.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's got 2 fireplaces in here. And
So was this always 1, 2 rooms?
I don't know. We don't know. You can see the floorboards go in a different direction.
Yeah.
My husband's theory was that they possibly built this part first, maybe spent the winter and then added on the rest of the house. I don't know.
Because it is abnormal to, yep.
Right. A lot of fireplaces in this house. Bicentennial coin that they put out for in memory of Deborah Sampson. Just put it in a little. You know, if you just see it up here, you can see that we didn't take down. I mean, it doesn't work anymore, but you know, I mean, it's
Yes.
the cable is still up there.
Isn't that interesting? Wow.
I like the guitar.
The gravestone rubbings also.
Oh.
So she has a 2-sided stone. So you can see that's the when she
Okay.
began it, and this was when she was in service.
Wow.
And that's what the house used to look like.
Stairs.
See how narrow that way going into the 2 bedrooms is.
Wow.
Upstairs, in the back.
Is there a bathroom up there too?
Yes. We love each other.
Oh, look at this.
That's very nice.
Well, my husband did.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
That's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
that's nice.
She's a hoot.
Don't you particularly like the closet?
Yes.
Look at the sewing.
Yeah.
It's certainly not like today, is it?
It sure isn't.
Have in your.
I've seen 2 of them. Do you use these to heat or what do you?
This one.
Look at that old mirror. Oh, we have to take.
Kitchen went right here, and you can see the marble
Okay.
beam.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And because of that fireplace, I mean, it was.
So that was the original. This, what was over here? These are little.
Eloise, come on, come on. This is the basement door.
I love it.
Go down to that basement.
I used to go a lot more.
I was being
Yeah,
fresh.
that's
I was being fresh.
That's it.
Wow.
And it's still wet.
Oh my goodness.
We're getting some work done today.
But you know, those steps are
Wow.
Yeah, but they're better than the ones.
So actually, this house has a large basement for an old house. It has this whole area here and the entire living room, the whole length, which
That
is very.
That is very.
That's unusual.
Play with your coat a little bit. It looks fuzzy and warm.
Oh. We are with Caitlin Flannery, and she's the owner
Owner and trainer, yes.
of Rocking Horse Farm here in Plympton. So how long have you had the farm here?
So the farm has been in the family for probably almost 40 years. It started with my aunt Lillian Gilpin, and she started here right after high school. So my grandparents bought the farm for her, and it was just, a little garage, I think, at that point. And they added on stalls and stalls and stalls, and now we have about 28 stalls here. We've added an indoor ring, and so it's just grown over the years. Lillian retired probably about 4 years ago, and she still lives in town. She's in Plympton, and she's here all the time checking in. But I've taken over, and I run the business on my own now.
Wow. And so have you done this like your whole career, or did you do other things?
Yes, no, I've done this my entire life. So I obviously, as a child, would get off the bus here every single day and come to the barn and work with Lil. And then I actually went away to school in Missouri and went to school for equine science. So this was my passion all along. Spent all my summers out in Missouri and Kentucky working for other people, but I really missed New England. So I came home as soon as I graduated college and have been here ever since.
And what is your favorite part of it? Is it riding? Is it training?
Honestly, I think it's instructing the kids. I love instructing. I obviously love the horses and the work that goes into it. They're a lot of work every day, no matter hot, cold, anything. But I love teaching. I love seeing the difference in the kids and how they grow and how they build a relationship with their horses. So.
Is there a certain style of riding that you teach?
Yes, so we are primarily saddle seat. So the breeds of horses that we have are Morgans and saddlebreds. So it's very different than like a hunter jumper. Our saddle is flat, but I think the most impressive thing about our horses is just their presentation. They carry their heads high, they're super animated, they pick their legs up really pretty, and they're just, I think, really exciting to watch. I've ridden all the disciplines. We had to do that in school, but still the saddlebreds are just by far my favorite.
Okay. She loves my
found a new friend.
Oh, that's so funny. You said that you have a breed here too that's not normal for this area?
The saddlebreds, yes. I don't think there are too many farms in Massachusetts or the South Shore, really. We have a lot of saddle seat, saddlebred barns like up on the North Shore. There are a few locally, but I think for saddlebreds, we're one of the only ones in the area, kind of this side of Boston. So.
And do you own all the horses, or are there people that barn their horses here?
So I have probably about 15 boarders. So those horses are show horses, and they're kept with me, so they're sort of kept as athletes. They're in a training program. This is sort of our off season. We're just getting back ready for show season. We start again in April. But so it's up to me to kind of keep them in shape, keep them fit, and train them. And then I have a lot of kids and adult amateurs that come and they take lessons with me, but the horses are in my care. And then the rest of the horses are lesson horses, so they belong to me and they're used in the program.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
What else do you do here?
So after school usually gets pretty busy. The kids start rolling in about 3:30. And so I teach a lot of lessons. I probably teach about 60 to 70 lessons a week. I have another instructor that helps me out. Her name's Becky, and she's from Plympton as well. And her daughter rides with me. They have 2 horses with me. So we do a lot of lessons, a lot of horse shows and competitions, summer camps, and we have a program called Paddock Pals, which I started sort of right after COVID. And I thought it was a way to get the kids back involved in things. So they come to the barn, sort of like a little spin-off on like Girl Scouts, but just with our kids that ride here. And we do like barn management, like proper grooming of the horses and learning about their tack and just everything that they could learn outside from their lesson. Because obviously they ride once a week, but you know, they come, they groom, they ride, and then they go home. So I just sort of came up with a program to get them to learn a little bit more about the daily care of everything. So.
Do you just do shows like in New England, or do you travel all over?
We travel to like Syracuse, New York, Pennsylvania, but for the most part we stay in the Northeast. The furthest we'll go is Kentucky, but that's as far as we'll go. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I understand that Plympton is kind of a horse town. How did that happen? Just because of the land?
Yeah, it was a very small town, I believe. So I'm sure everybody that was here had lots of land to accumulate animals like I have, between the horses and the goats and the ponies and everything. So it's just stayed very rural, which is nice. It's just nice to be surrounded by other farms and, you know, farms that have animals and grow and everything like that. So,
do you have a competition for your business, or is it unique? You said the horses are unique.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of farms in the area that give riding lessons, but I think being one of the only saddle seat barns close by, like I said, there are a few other ones, but we have mostly saddlebreds, so I think it is kind of like a little niche for the area. There aren't a lot of saddlebred barns in this area.
Right, so that really sets you apart.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So what do you want potential clients to know about your facility?
I mean, I guess we start kids from the very beginning. So as much as we are a show barn and a saddle seat barn, I think a lot of people may see that and think, oh, I don't want to ride saddle seat, or they're not sure what to learn about it. But I say in the beginning, all the kids learn a very basic seat. So we teach from the ground up. We teach how to groom the horses, how to tack up their horses, and then all the fundamentals of riding, which I think is huge. A lot of the lesson programs kind of have so many kids that I don't know that they allow them to do all of that anymore. And I think that's huge for the kids. They need to be hands-on with their horses and get comfortable with them on the ground first before you can expect them to ride and do well in competitions and things. So
Right.
yeah.
What's the biggest challenge of running this kind of a business?
I would say the freezing cold mornings when you're out here and you can't feel your hands or toes. And just the day-to-day work. I think a lot of people underestimate what it takes to take care of a farm with 30 animals. No matter how good your business is doing, it's still a lot of work. So you could be, just booming with lessons and clients, and you could have slow times too, but it's still just as much work no matter the season or how busy you are. Because the animals come first, and they, Christmas morning you're here feeding, and they take the care every single day. So
Right.
I think it's probably that.
Well, what do you like most about it?
I think going to the horse shows and the competitions and seeing my horses and students do well, and learn from times that they don't do well also. But I love putting a finished rider in the ring and being able to see them succeed, especially with a horse that we've worked with over the years, or whether it's a new horse or a new combination. But it's just nice to be able to see the kids grow with their horses.
Excellent. Anything else we should ask? Marcia has a question. I can see it in her face.
Do all the kids have a horse here?
No, they do not. No.
Okay.
So definitely not. We have a lot of students that are just in the program and they ride lesson horses. And so I think that's probably another thing that sets us apart is we do go to large competitions, like which I call overnight horse shows, where we're gone for a week at a time. And we travel with the bigger show horses that are owned by clients. But we also do local horse shows as well. So we go over to Briggs Stable in Hanover.
I know that well.
Yes, we go there on Wednesday nights and on weekend shows. And I allow my kids the opportunity to still compete and show on the school horses. So they use all of my tack, my horses and things like that. And it's just a way for them to be able to do a competition without actually having to own a saddle, own a bridle, own a horse, and have all of that. And they're able to sort of get a taste of it and do it as well, which I think is great.
Do you have help?
I understand that you have a horse ready for us
I do, yes.
that might be rideable.
Yes.
Like little tiny riders like this tiny.
Good.
How you doing, Marcia?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Actually, all the rides are sometimes. Yeah, he's like
The kids, so we keep things, together, because they're all. Oh, this ought to be good. Oh, she did it. Oh, that wasn't any fun.